Hey, how often do you wake up to that little voice? It sounds an awful lot like you, but it tries to talk you out of things. It tries to tell you that the things that you're reaching for, the things that you're hoping for, the things that mean something to you, the things that seem difficult or hard are just too far out of reach. The ones that try to convince you into complacency and comfort and survival. The ones that tell you, you know what, today is just not your day. You just need to wait until tomorrow. You know, we all have hopes, we all have dreams, we all have all these things we want to push towards, but it's always something that we like to put off until our tomorrows. And that little voice wakes up with a sole purpose to tell you that today is not the day. But there's another voice, there's a deeper voice. There's one that's sometimes a little too quiet, and that voice is really you. It's the authentic you. It's what's been put in you. It's what was created in you to make a difference. It's the voice that's not self-seeking, but it's the voice that seeks to serve others. It's the voice that says, you know what? I have something in me. I have purpose. I have something greater in me that I need to share with the world. And it's not difficult. It's not easy, and it's going to be difficult, and it's going to require push. It's going to require grit. It's going to require me to dig deep. It's going to require me to engage and be here, be present in my day. And if I spend too long listening to that other little negative voice, the one that sounds like me, but it's really not me because it's a friggin' liar, that other little voice that sits on your shoulder and you need to tell to take a hike every morning, that other little voice can be trained to be quiet. It can train to zip its mouth. You could train it to take a back seat, and you can listen to that deeper voice, the one that tells you that you were made for something bigger. You were made for a purpose. You were made to serve others and not to self-seek all of the things that you need, but to look around in the community around you, be grateful for what you've been given today, and push towards things that matter. I'm just here to tell you today that that little voice in your head, there's two of them. There's one that's a liar, and it sits there and it constantly tries to convince you or talk you down from the things that you hope for, the big things, the hard things, the authentic things, the dreaming things, those things, the ones that you just can't get off your mind. That little voice is always going to try to talk you down or away from them, and you have to learn to tell that voice to shut up. You have to learn to tell that voice to take a freaking hike. You have to learn to tell that voice who is the boss, and you need to get that other voice that's sometimes quietly and it's barely a whisper, and you forget that it's there, but it's always there. It's always telling you, it's always encouraging, it's always hopeful. It's not filled with fear, but it's filled with the sense of great purpose and love. That fearful, anxious, negative voice needs to take a back seat. And you tell it to take a back seat, and get up every morning and work on telling it to take a back seat. And do not think that you're the only one that has that little voice that tries to push you down. We all have it. Every morning you're fighting a battle, and just remember that that battle, that little voice, that negative voice, that's a liar. And that deeper voice, that authentic voice, the one that's telling you to push and hope for and dig for things that are deep and develop the grit you need to get to things that matter, that's not a liar. And you're not going to live this life surviving, making it to the end of the day. You're going to live this life thriving, which means that you're going to push towards things that matter. And it requires you each and every day to get up and decipher the sound of those two voices and listen to that true voice, the one that I believe that God placed in me. He told me I had a purpose. He told me I am to encourage. He told me I am to motivate. He told me all of these things about myself, and I need to listen and push towards it. And that negative voice needs to take a back seat, because the longer that it's sitting on my shoulder, the longer I'm not pushing towards things that matter. So if you have that negative little voice, I do too. And it's time that we tell it to take a hike, because we have a life to live, we have a purpose to push, and we have things to do. And that deeper voice, the one that is resounding and loud, and it's constantly there, and it's hopeful, and it's full of love and not fear, that's the voice that you need to listen to. And that's my little message for you today. You pick what voice you listen to. You pick what voice you tell to take a hike and shut up. And use those words, because sometimes you just need to tell that voice to shut up. Stop whispering in your ear. Take a hike. Have a good day.